Okay guys, so here I've got Winnipeg Jets build. It's been a long time since I've filmed a build for YouTube, so I figured I would do it for this one. This is a pretty big build. It's called the Big Smitty's Ultimate JETScade, and it's just loaded with the best of the best. Custom artwork. The design is by me, and there was a fella in India that had printed it off in laminated vinyl. The idea behind the theme is that the left side's going to be retro Jets, and the right side's going to be modern with kind of a mix in the middle. And it turned out pretty awesome. You can see I still haven't done T-mold yet. The plan was to do some LED T-molding, which I had ordered from tmolding.com, but the problem is that I'm using a 27-inch Acer touchscreen here, and you can see how reflective it is. It's glass, and it's picking up the chandelier right now, and it also picks up lights, LEDs. So I had to actually pitch the control panel too, which is actually really comfortable to play on now, to a point where it's not going to be reflecting the LEDs in the LCD display, the touchscreen, because these are Ultimarcs RGB UltraLux, I think. They're the I don't know if that's right, but they're the or maybe they're the classic leaf switch. They're the leaf switch ones. They're super soft and plush. And then I've got the RGB Ball Tops on this build. Also the Ultimarc flight stick. Then I've got Ultimarc spinner and the RGB Trackball. So it's a hell of a build. Some pinball buttons on the sides, an RGB launch ball button in the front. And then I went with some Halo black with LED blue. You'll see it when I turn it on. They look pretty sharp. It kind of looks like pucks, which was the idea. You know, it kind of looks like hockey pucks. But you can see the side art here on the one side. This is the modern jet side. And you've got Mickey Mouse, the modern mascot. And then around the back, this is a really good donor cabinet. It was golden tea that had been converted to a virtual bowling. And it was a really good donor cab, except for this panel that comes off the back. It looked like it was sitting in the basement on the floor, and it picked up a lot of moisture and swelled a little bit. So that's a little bit ugly. Could use a new panel. And I had a friend drop this off for me today. Just a custom plate that she did. Shout out to Shauna Lee. She came out of her way to drop this off for me today. So it looks pretty sharp. One of one. And yeah, so, and the cabinet's from 1991. So, you know, it's 30 years old. And 31 years old. So here's the other side. Here's the retro Jets. Benny and the Jets over here. And you can see the retro logo. And even these characters, you know, the hockey players in the background, they're all embossed retro style on this side, modern on the other, and then it kind of mixes in the middle here. But yeah, it turned out really nice. So here there was a plexi box in the other cabinet. And I just cut another piece of melamine and just did a Jets logo in the middle. Got a 15-inch stretch Hyper Marquee display up top. And that's framed up real nice with vinyl. I went all out with vinyl on this. Everything got vinylized. And then on the front of the cabinet, you've got your stereo controls here. Two 2.0 USB ports that have covers, which is pretty sharp when you're not using them. And that could be for, you know, Xbox 360 controllers or Xbox One wired controllers for third and fourth player. Guitar controller for Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and microphone, whatnot. And then I've got two guns in this build. I went with ArcadeGuns. So I got a blue one here on the left side, and I've got the red one on the right, which goes with the whole color scheme of the Winnipeg Jets logo. And their team. And then on the coin mech, I've got an actual Haps coin mech there, so that takes 25 cents to give you a credit. And then I've went and put a button over here so that, you know, you can get unlimited credits. And nice little keychain here, Winnipeg Jets Stanley Cup. It'll happen, it'll happen. And then I've got a puck beer opener here on an earth magnet. There's just an empty spot there, so you can just grab that, open your beer, and then toss it back on, and it just slides into place. And this is actually a really nice cabinet for the fact, too, that it had all the original stuff, and it was in mint shape. So you've got the coin box here with the coin tray, and it just makes a really sweet sound when a quarter hits the bucket. Really reminiscent of the arcades of old, you know. Wait till it's got a bunch of quarters in there. It just splashes into a bunch of quarters. Woohoo! Okay, let's fire this beast up. So, like I said, it's got a 27-inch Acer touchscreen. You can see I've got it LED lit. Just 5-volt red LEDs that I put in there. And worked out pretty good. Looks pretty sharp. Pretty clean. And then you've got your RGB buttons here while it's booting up. Now I ended up flipping this Acer display because it had a glass bezel around it. And I ended up putting the Ultimarc Aimtrak sensor in this bezel here. I just cut out some vinyl, cut out a bit of characters here, and put it in there. Got some profile, I think they're 150 watt speakers or 200 watt car audio speakers, and there's a 10-inch Logitech sub in there on this mini amp. And the mini amp has 5 controls. You got volume, you've got bass controls, and then you've got your bass and treble for the 2 front speakers. This one here controls your bass and your bass. So right now we're just booting up here. I've got it set up with 30 different intros, Winnipeg Jets intros. Oh, I don't have the volume on. Here we go. Yeah, 30 different Winnipeg Jets intros, so it'll randomize that on boot up. And it's set up to automatically boot into, you know, from Windows into Hyperspin. So that's where we're at right now. Now you can see even the vinyl's pretty glossy. And I've got this room dim pretty dark, so, but it's better to see that up here rather than seeing it over here in this display. You don't see any LEDs here, which is fantastic. And it is a very glossy display, guys. It is glass. So, yeah, you can see the chandelier in the background. But if you got a dark room, you won't see anything but beautiful, crisp display. It is a really gorgeous display. 10-point touch screen, so it works really well. So here we are, we're in Hyperspin, and I got to move that recycling bin on the Hyper Marquee screen. But yeah, here we'll go into MAME. We'll pick a game in MAME. There we go. LED blinky's finally starting to get caught up here. It's just in trial version right now. I'm gonna have to buy a version for this, and I'm still kind of configuring it a bit. It's not 100% configured properly, but yeah. So let's pick a game here. There you go, 1942. So she's booting up right now. And there we go. You got your 1942 Marquee. Looks pretty crisp and sharp. And then you've got your 1942 bezel. And it's in your proper display. And with the CRT filter, it looks pretty sharp. With the CRT filter, even though it's on a modern touchscreen, it looks really good. and you've got your proper resolution here. So I'm just going to boot out of that, go back into Hyperspin, and let's see something else here. Oh, so this also has it also has servos in it. So the two controls are Ultimarcs. They have the Ultimarc servo motors in them, and so it's another little trick in this system. So they automatically switch from a 4 to 8 way. There's a kind of like a gateway there, and it just switches automatically from 4 to 8 way in game. So like if you're playing Donkey Kong or something like that, you're gonna get the proper movements. You're not gonna miss any movements. You're gonna get your high scores, and you know, same with Street Fighter if you're playing an 8 way game like that. And the flight stick is pretty cool. It's, you know, got a plastic shell on it, which I guess it would have to be, but to me it feels a bit kind of chintzy in hand, but it does work really well. It's got like a magnet in there, and that too switches to any type of control scheme that you're playing with, which is neat. So that kind of rounds out the rest of the table. You know, you got your 4 and your 8 ways, and then if you're doing something weird like Hubert, you know, where you got 2-way movements, or you know, a 48 way like NFL Blitz or something like that, that's gonna fill out the remainder of it. And yeah, the RGB is just gorgeous, just awesome. Never get bored of that. You can dim them too. Like you can, LED blinky's amazing. You can change all that stuff. You can dim it, and you can change the schemes and the colors for your different systems and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it, guys. The Winnipeg Jets Big Smitty Ultimate JETScade is complete. I just got to do my team molding, so I got to do a teardown on this thing now. Oh, here's the pinball buttons. They look really sharp. Again, blue's my favorite color, and it goes really well with the Jets theme. And the black halo kind of makes it look like there's pucks there, which is nice. And carbon fiber vinyl on the sides. I didn't think I'd have enough vinyl to complete the vinylization of this whole thing, but it turned out that I did. I've got some vinyl left over, so I might go back and hit some areas that didn't get vinyl, like there. That was a white melamine that I used, 3/4 inch white melamine. So I'm going to go back and hit that with vinyl. Drink holders, got to have those on every build. And these ones adjust to whatever drink you have. So it'll automatically adjust to the size of your wine or your beer or your coffee, your large Tim Hortons. And I think that is it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hit all this, the score of this with black leather print T-molding, and that'll wrap all the way around to the back. And then once I get down here, I'm going to finish it off and complete it with the LED T-molding from tmolding.com. Kick plate, yeah, the kick plate got some vinyl too, and that looks really sharp. And yeah, I think that is about it, guys. Aside from that, like I said, I got to do my T-molding. And yeah, there's a laser topper up there for jukebox mode. Oh, so there is jukebox in this as well. I added touch jams to this, which is my favorite jukebox software, especially for touchscreen, you know. So let's try that out. I'm going to show that off. That's pretty cool. Where are we here? So we'll find jukebox, and as long as I'm online so touch jams can find its key, then we're good to go. So let's try this out. Takes a bit to boot into touch jams. Like I said, it's got to go online and find the key. Make sure you get a legitimate key, and then it boots you in. Yeah, touch jams is awesome, guys. If you haven't seen this before or tried the demonstration for touch jams, give it a go. You won't be disappointed. I put it in all my builds. I love it. I'm a big fan of music, so yeah, I think it's awesome. This is a different skin than I have in some of my other builds. I try to use different skins just to play around with touch jams. But yeah, it's just really wicked. You can see that lists it by artists. You got albums. You can go alphabetically here, and that's about it. Cheers.